story time. We got the Ancient Age, mixed up with a little Sprite with some spooky ice cubes. Spooky bourbon review! Oh, wait, no, sorry,
really.
hold on.
I'm going to let you do it. I'm just going to be ready for it.
Me?
Yep. 3, 2...
Discount bourbon review!
Every time.
Alright, guys, we're back with story time this time. We went on a little trip and we're wanting to share it with you.
We went on down to... I mean, it originally started with just Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah.
We had heard through the webs...
On the Ohio State Liquor website.
Figuratively and literally through the webs... that there was a couple of bottles of antique at a couple of different stores.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was about 9 o'clock...
At night?
9 p.m. on a Tuesday that Josh texted me and said, and I quote, "Bro! They've got it! We gotta go!" And there was a little bit of back and forth. I wasn't too keen on the idea at first of just going for the chance.
But there were a couple places that had it. There were a couple different locations, and we were doing the math. And if we thought we pulled up, we could pull up at some of these places about the time they opened.
About 10 a.m., like right as a lot of these stores were open.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, we did it. We didn't pack nothing. We weren't planning on staying for very long.
On our back. We hopped up in the truck, and we started driving up there.
Yeah.
And probably an hour into the overall trip, though, is when we started talking about it. You know, like, hey, you know, why Ohio? Why this? Why not any other state? You know, liquor laws and all that. And I was telling him, I was like, yeah, you know, we've been hunting Ohio for a while. I actually got an uncle that lives up there. Maybe about 10, 15 minutes off some of these places we're actually going to be going to. And I swear, I think Dylan could have shot lasers through my head. He was like, dude, what are we doing in this car?
Why are we in the car?
But of course, this week is the one week that my uncle was not there. He was in Arizona. So it's like, if we want it, there's a chance. Let's get after it. Now, I know that it comes around relatively frequently, and they'll get some different drops. I think we were just kind of in a... We were in a state of hunting it, where we were kind of getting more scratchy about it.
We've been talking about it. Of course, Josh came across that bottle of Foolproof out in, I think it was Mulgi area. And yeah, there was a little bit of an itch. And of course, Weller's just one of the top tiers around the discount bourbon review areas. And to have a bottle of Antique 107, which is what we originally were going up there thinking we were going to leave with. We thought we were going to come back with our one trophy bottle. We were going to be like, look what we got.
If we got our one bottle, we thought we were going to come back with that.
And we'll get into why we have two a little bit later, but you can see we got two.
We have a little bit more than that we trekked down on this trip. But I guess it was somewhere around St. Louis, 6-7 hours in. We were looking at the Ohio Liquor website, and they had refreshed some of the inventories on this place. Took 2 of the 6 places we were looking for off already. They already said no supply left. One bumped down to limited supply, and everything we'd heard is that limited supply is pretty bad. It means they may have one bottle,
maybe 2.
Yeah, one bottle, just because that could be a weird inventory thing. But we know that in stock must have been at least 2 or more.
Yeah.
So we were trying to play it by ear. We whipped up to the first place that we could.
It was a really cool little drive-through place, honestly. I really liked it.
Tom's Drive-Through Cincinnati.
I think that's what it was called, but it had, like... It didn't have, like, a drive-through window. It had, like, a full...
Like a service bay.
Yeah. You'd pull in, and, like, there was snacks all around you, and someone would just come out and be like, what do you want?
What you want? What you picking?
You want some of that Ancient Age?
Antique 107?
I'll be right back with it. It was a really cool little store, honestly.
Could you imagine that? Had we been first in line... Like, right when they opened at 9 a.m., just pull into the garage. Yep, we'll take those 2 Antique 107. Don't even have to get out of the car.
I think that one store, when we were looking at it, just had the one. I think they just had the one.
They started limited supply.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was a really cool little store. I don't think we picked anything.
They didn't have anything. Yeah, I mean, they had a good selection. Don't get me wrong. Being as close to Kentucky as they are, how could you not? But I think we were a little too amped up at those moments. We didn't even film it. We kind of ran in and we were like, what's going on?
We beat ourselves up about it all the way back.
Yeah, we did.
From Ohio.
All the films.
We were like,
we went to like
in like 4, like a bunch
places,
of stores.
Liquor establishments, and we hardly filmed at any of them.
I'm pretty sure we filmed once.
Yeah.
On the way out of town here in Oklahoma. And So yeah, we got a little excited. But yeah, I know we went in looking for this guy. We were told no immediately.
Like, told no, ain't gonna happen.
Out the door, we don't have it. I started looking around, maybe see if they had a little bottle of ancient age.
Yes.
We saw that on the website. It said in stock. We didn't find any of that.
We were hunting down some of that ancient age 10-star.
10-star.
Because I do believe it was the Buffalo Trace Distillery that was known as the Ancient Age Distillery before they ended up rebranding their name. Yeah. So there's some good stuff out there from them. And you'll have to check out our bottle review on Ancient Age Preferred, and then the lineup between the two. Yep. Hopefully one day we can get the oldest brother. And we can do the whole review.
The day we get an ancient age 10-star, that's going to be sitting right here and we're cracking them. I want one of them real bad.
So if you know anyone's got one, you know where one's at, let us know.
Even if I just want a little borrow, I just want to have like maybe 2 ounces.
Yeah, just a little nip.
That'd be kind of cool. But we've quickly, what was that? Wasn't the next store just like a convenience store?
Yes. The next store we went up to was literally a gas station looking type place. And we got in, and they had quite a bit bigger bourbon selection. I'd say the aisle was probably doubled in comparison.
It was a big aisle.
And that was kind of a theme. We kind of almost had a doubling to every place that we went.
It wasn't even that it was like a long aisle. It was just tall. Like, it had a lot of rows to their aisle. They had a nice selection. Mm-hmm. I remember that one. Didn't it say it had in stock on there? They had a good amount of bottles, at least according to the website.
Yes, they did say in stock. Because as you were looking down the aisle, I went to go talk to the owner. That was kind of our split plan. Walked up there and I was like, hey, I saw online, you got some, what's going on, what's the situation? And he's like, dude, yeah, we did have some. We opened up like 9:30 and we actually had some bottles for a while. We had some until maybe about 10-15 minutes before you arrived. I just sold them off. Yeah. And I was like, dude, that's like the worst thing you could say. That's even worse than no, that we don't have bottles. Like, you were slow. Yeah. You were slow on 12 hours worth of driving.
If we had 10 minutes faster first over Tom's, we may have
gotten a bottle there. Exactly that. So, like, for all those reasons, it's like, bro, just fuck you, man. What?
You could have just said no, bro. But yeah.
You had a full case of them, too. So I think if maybe we'd hit him with the story, maybe we could have got our 3. But I don't know how limits work out there. I don't know how rules work. But
maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do... Where was the next one after
that? Yeah, we pulled out and we decided to go check out a Kroger's, which is already going to be a Hail Mary. You know what I mean? They had it in stock on there. And Dylan got us headed out there with the GPS, but I was kind of getting antsy, I guess, by this point. So I started calling some of the other places on the list. Yeah. One person in particular was like, nope, just straight no.
Yeah. Got a couple of straight no's, if we're being honest.
Yeah, I called maybe 3 or 4 places, and then one person, it's some pimple-faced teenager, must have answered the phone. He's like, oh, hello, this is the deli. And I was like, yeah, man, he directed me over to the spirits department. I'm like looking for certain bottles. He's like, oh, I can help you out. I was like, well, I would like some of that Antique 107. Y'all have it? And he's like, let me look for a second. So I'm waiting on hold, and he picks back up, and he's like, yeah, we got 2 bottles left. And dude, I think you could have
Josh about screamed at him.
I did. I
hold these bottles.
I was
hold those bottles.
Like, please, hold on to them behind the counter.
We drove 12 hours to get here.
Like, we drove 12 hours, and he just hits you with I can't. It's just not legal. We just can't even do that. And I was like, bro, I'm driving like the wind. I was like, please.
Oh yeah.
And
of course, drive it safely.
Drive safe, responsibly.
I was definitely holding on to that oh shit bar there on the
definitely
side.
A little quicker than Josh drives on average.
Just a little bit. Yeah. Still speed limit. But yeah, we
got there.
I really liked that store too, even though it was a deli. Their liquor department was really cool.
Had we not just like come in with the energy we did, I think we could have looked around a little bit more in their liquor and honestly, maybe even got a sandwich.
Even after we had walked away with the bottles, I kind of wanted to be like, well, Josh, hold on, let me look around a little bit more. We didn't. We went around and went to another store because we had found what we were looking for.
Well, one of the things of it was, with the allocated bottles where we found them, we started asking about some other stuff that we had a little bit of interest in. There was a larceny barrel proof. I was curious if it was a different batch than the one I had. There was a Heaven Hill product that Dylan picked up some interest in, but as soon as we started mentioning on those things, they were like, all right, well, do you want to put the Antique 107 back?
Immediately. I don't even remember specifically which bottle I had mentioned, but I had brought up a bottle because I just saw it sitting there, and I was like, oh, what about that guy? How much are you guys running that guy for? And she immediately picked him up and put the 107 right on the ground.
And I was like,
whoa, okay, that's not what I was talking about. That's not what I meant. put the 107 back.
Let's
calm down
here.
a little bit here.
Yeah.
If you're only gonna let me leave with the 107, that's all I'm gonna leave with. Yeah. But yeah, no, we scooped it. They were about, I think technically speaking,
she said 50. It was like 53 cash after tax, and like 56 on your card. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a charge on the card, but you didn't pay. I paid.
Well, you paid for yours, and then I paid for mine. They were very stinky about not letting me pay cash for both of us.
Well, yeah. But yeah, I think that technically means we got it at MSRP.
Yes.
At $50,
yes.
technically speaking.
We got it. I think that's the thing about Ohio and the state minimum, why we did that, is that they can't charge you more than certain prices. Granted, the more reserve bottles they do a lottery of, but...
Yeah.
Some cool stuff there.
Yeah, we found 2 bottles of 107, and I said, Josh, we done it. We did it. We completed our mission.
But like a true American, like a true patriot, I looked at him with a lust in my eyes, and I said, it's not enough, Dylan.
It's not over.
I want
this
more.
This Kroger still says that they have the bottle.
We could get a third one, so that you can have one, I can have one, and we can review one.
Maybe we could find that Ancient Age 10-star that he kept telling me about. And
this was after I made Dylan sell the Ancient Age back to me for the channel.
The Weller, the 107. Yeah,
yes.
no.
Oh, sorry.
He handed me cash back in the car because he bought the bottle. I bought the bottle. And then we got back in the car, and he immediately handed me cash for over what I spent on the bottle. It wasn't too much more, but it was a little bit more. And I was like, what if I said no?
I was like, you didn't have that option, bud. Come on.
So we went to the Kroger. We were trying to find that third bottle. Maybe I could have had my own little trophy bottle. Would have been cool. We were trying to find the Ancient Age 10-star. Would have been really cool. I would have scooped that immediately.
I think had you found that, I don't think we would have went to Buffalo Trace.
I probably would have called it right there as well. But in the vice versa of it, I'm glad we didn't, because we went to the Kroger. Immediately, it's a Kroger. They have a very limited.
The time we were there scratching our nuts, the guys asked for 4 different different people came and asked for the antique 107 to the guy at the counter.
At least 2 for the Ancient Age we saw on the website as well.
It
was gone. It was well sought after. Kroger's the place to hit up out there for a lot of them.
Seriously, yeah. If you're just an everyday shopper, I wish we could have stuff like that at our grocery stores.
Honestly,
their selection was just insane.
Go out a little bit early, go hit your grocery shopping just real quick before you hit the freezer aisle. You're like,
just that.
Let's go see if they've got that 107 real quick.
I'd say just that Kroger was pretty comparable to even some of our best liquor stores here in Tulsa.
You
know what I mean?
For what they had, selection wise,
at the prices they did,
I agree with that completely. Yep. The size of it and how far out they could have gone with it, with not just other.
I agree. They could have stretched it. They were definitely vertical.
But again, it's a Kroger. I didn't expect anything too much, and we didn't really find anything. They had some cool selections. I really debated grabbing
Special Reserve while you were there.
Just something, you know what I mean?
There's a Willet pot still.
Oh, I thought about the pot still, but they were asking a little much for the pot still, so I was like, oh,
it's a cool bottle.
Thank you though. But Josh, again, just being the pride and true American he was, he said, Dylan, it's still not enough.
It's still not enough.
If we add the Buffalo Trace Distillery to this trip and we go to Louisville, Kentucky, on our way back into Oklahoma, it's only going to add an extra
20 minutes to the drive. Not alone the time we spent in the distillery.
That was an entire different thing that I didn't even think about. You got me on that one. It was a good little ruse you pulled me on that one. Because I did not think about the time we were going to spend inside in any way, shape, or form. I was like, oh, you're fine. Let's go. Let's hit it. Let's go hit this distillery real quick.
Let's do it.
Yeah. And we were looking it up on the way just to see what people were saying they might have. Of course, they don't put it out anywhere.
Because they always put out Buffalo Trace bottles. They put out the bourbon cream bottles. They put out the Wheatley vodka, the Sazerac, all with bottle limits.
I was interested in the Wheatley vodka. They said it was a little bit of a table. No, we didn't. We walked past.
But we had to drive, of course. So.
But we did go hit the upstairs table where they tried many more things.
One tasting's appropriate. 2 tastings, that's a little too much.
A little far.
That's a little too much.
But yeah, no, I was very surprised. It was the first distillery I've ever stepped foot in, so I was very happy about it. Of course, we were trying to make time. Sadly, I had to be at work Thursday morning, so
I was 5 a.m.
5 a.m. So I was like, we got to get back. We were trying to get back by 9:30.
But we got to Buffalo Trace at 2.
Yeah. Louisville, Kentucky, got to drive back to Oklahoma. My dream should have been shattered just right there in that moment, just in retrospect of it. of getting back at a reasonable time.
Oh, yeah.
But not
definitely.
the dreams, because everyone online was saying, guys, today is your day.
That they're
If
putting out
you
Blanton's.
want Blanton's, you need to be there. And we got real excited. Bobby was even getting on it, calling you every
Yeah, he was calling me every
30
couple hours,
minutes.
letting me know. He's like, they still have bottles. It looks like they're
no
still
one's
good.
saying
No
they're
one's
out.
sold out.
No one's
yet.
saying they're
We
out.
should keep plotting the course.
Yep. And I mean, I was very happy that we did do it. It was a wonderful experience. Even just walking around the gift shop was like, so we didn't get to do any tours. We got to do a little bit of a tasting. I had it about 30,
Yeah,
40
I mean,
minutes
everything
to it.
is free there, and we didn't really... We
Not
stopped
the
in just to get the Blantons.
You don't get to
primarily.
Blantons
Sorry,
for free.
yes. The tours and the tastings are free.
Yeah.
But we stopped there primarily to stop at the gift shop. Now, I'd been to a couple other distilleries in the past, but they'd been much smaller operations where they kind of just had a bit more of an open gift shop. You walk in, you buy the bottles as you like, you walk out. So I was kind of floored when we got there, and they had a whole visitor entrance. They had a guy waving us on at the front. They had these multiple buildings and rick houses. I mean, man, it's just...
That was one of the... I
beautiful.
want to go back and do a tour so
smell.
bad. Just walk into the gift shop. You've got to walk past like 2 or 3 different buildings of
And you
rick
can see
houses.
the barrels.
Just right through
there.
the window. You can see them.
Right.
They're right there.
What's the chance you think I'll drink some of that one?
It absolutely blew. I want to go do a tour over there so
Yeah.
bad. I'm a little upset we didn't. I'm glad that we just, did
I
what we
think it
had
like
to do
stoked
and
the
get
fire.
on going.
I think it confirmed to us that it's
absolutely
something that
did.
we're really excited about doing.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Did. Oh, yeah. I really want to go inside one of those rick houses and just see the lines of barrels. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. It was wonderful. There was so much. Buffalo Trace, the Sazerac Rye, the Buffalo
Oh my
Cream.
gosh, seeing the wall where the actual bottles were, I've seen people throw fists for just a box of Blantons, just a single
bottle
hundreds.
box. Throw
Hundreds up
hands,
there.
hundreds on the table. I see it regularly, hear about it regularly here in Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
There's stores that are like, when we have it in
Like, go
stock,
knock
there's a
on it.
line of 40 people outside trying to get their
an
hands
hour
on it.
before the store even opens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, like...
To just have it so casually displayed like that.
I think there was
awesome.
even when we got there at 2 p.m.,
Yeah.
there was easily 30,
Still
40
fully stocked
bottles
shelf.
just sitting there, just the Blantons.
Oh, that's I'd say just the one shelf. You had your free choice of your letters. You had anything you could want. If your bottle
You
didn't
got to
look
really.
right.
I picked up one bottle. I remember specifically because I got the A right here. Yeah, I picked up one bottle and I walked around with it for like 10 minutes.
And then you
real
said,
quick.
no,
I
this
said,
isn't
no, I
my
don't want this
Blantons."
letter. And so I went and put it back and I picked up the A. I think I picked up an L at first. I was like, that's funny. I don't want that. But I changed my mind on it. I was like, that's crazy to me. Absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I love that. All of their stuff too. All the Weller, the Buffalo Trace stuff,
The gift shop, yeah.
Glen
the objects.
Cairns, bar mats, it's all really cool stuff.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful time.
But we did sneak up to that tasting room on the way out.
Oh yeah.
And they had the trophy wall.
They snuck that in right as I was checking out. No one had said anything about a
They're like,
tasting.
dude, there's a free tasting?
Yeah, we were checking out. We had the bottles of Blanton's and we were leaving. We were just talking to the lady, the cashier. Well, yeah, just drove from Oklahoma. I mean, virtually 12, 13 hours we've driven just to be where we were standing.
Probably smelling like absolute.
Just
She's like, yeah,
dog water.
can tell you, probably.
Yeah. But she was like, well, I mean, you drove all this way for these bottles of Blanton's. You can go upstairs and try it real quick.
Before
Yeah.
you have to crack them.
Yeah.
Sick.
And I was like, oh, that's a deal. Because I'd never tried the Blanton's in any way, shape, or form before. So, like, we're doing that. Yeah. And yeah, the trophies were insane. I mean, they had the full
Pappy
Weller,
lineup,
the
and the
Pappy
Weller lineup.
Weller,
They had Elmer T.
Eagle.
Lee. They got the Eagle. They had everything you could want.
It was almost like a video game. I was stun locked. Immediately I stopped and I was like, oh, you have history on your shelves right here. And of course there's history all over the place, but I was like, oh, like just...
Like, that's cool.
You're not seeing a lot of those bottles anywhere else throughout the distillery. The 12-year, the 107, and the Weller.
The 23 and 25-year Pappies?
No.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Absolutely stun locked. There's a picture Josh talked one of the guys into getting of him and
Getting
the
me
whole
right up close
the
by it.
Weller lineup right there. So we'll throw that in there somewhere just so you can see it. But it was absolutely
It's magnificent.
I mean, we only waited like 5 minutes before we.
No, we
jumped into
whipped
the
up. They were
actual
waiting on
tasting.
us, actually, for the tasting.
Yeah.
There was a group up there, and they were like, can we fit a couple more in? Although I wish we'd gone with that next group, because they got to do it right there at the trophy bar, and there was just like 3 dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we
That
would have
would've
fit
been-
in a little better.
That probably would have been cool. We were off to the side a little bit. It was like a big old group from like Miami or somewhere that had come over. It was like easily 13, 14 people, and then just us off to the side.
It's like a weird hibachi restaurant
A
type
little
thing.
bit, yeah. But it was cool. What was our man's name? Mr. Allen?
Mr. Allen.
There?
Yeah.
I think it was. He was really cool. We tried the Blantons, of course. We tried Buffalo Trace, which of course we tried here on the channel. We knew what we were getting into there.
Tried some Sazerac.
The Sazerac rye, which I was very caught off guard with. The Sazerac rye was very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the biggest fan of ryes. Maybe it was just something about being there in the space.
No, I remarked that the Buffalo Trace and the Sazerac both just had a uniquely fresh taste compared to some other bottles that I've had.
They were fresh. They had to have been just freshly bottled. Just like, we just bottled this a month or two ago.
Oh, maybe even same day or so.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Even. Yeah, it was... Even the rye was fantastic. The bourbon cream was interesting and kind of the last thing I expected from going to the distillery.
Yeah, for them to be like, hey, you want a root beer float flavored like ice cream deliciousness? And I'm like, yeah.
Really cool way to end out that tasting and just kind of being like, yeah, you got to try all these whiskeys and we're going to give you a little something sweet just to smack you on the ass, get you on out of here. It was really cool. They had that sign right there next to it. It was a little digital sign. And it like showed the number of barrels they filled since the Prohibition ended.
Yes.
I thought that was crazy.
I believe that's our PFP right now, our profile pic.
Ooh, it's a good one.
It's a good picture.
Yeah.
I like that picture.
It was crazy. But it was not too long after the tasting when I was like, all right.
I was like, we
gotta pitter patter. We gotta get on out of here. And we hit the road. We came back. I think the drive back was definitely a little bit more
brutal. Yeah, especially as we started approaching night, getting close to our destination. On the inverse, when you're going up and it's becoming morning, you start waking up with your circadian rhythm. But when you're getting into town about midnight 1, you're really starting ready to be passed out.
So honestly, Josh, on the way up there, you drove a majority of the way. I drove like a couple of hours at like 5 to 7 in the morning.
We had to split it a little bit more on the way back.
Yeah, the way back we definitely split it up a little bit more. Yeah. You finished it out though. I remember taking a nap outside of town. I don't remember exactly where we were, but we were a good couple hours out of town, and I woke up and we were in town on my street, and I was like, oh, okay.
So get up, get out, let's go.
Pretty much.
See you in a couple days for the reviews.
Yeah. Definitely gave it a couple of days before we came out here and tried the 107.
Yeah, I needed a couple more days of sleep before we could do anything like that. Like I said, we were gone from the house 26 hours, and we spent 24 hours of which driving. So we were at stores for an hour, and we were at Buffalo Trace for about an hour.
Yeah. That sounds about right. It all adds up.
But honestly, would I do it all again?
Easy.
Probably.
No questions asked. Wonderful time, 10 out of 10 trip.
Yeah.
Nose on the trip, maybe a 6 or a 7.
Yeah, there were some stinky parts. There was some skunks. Dylan farted a couple times.
Hey man, nap farts are a thing. They happen. It's okay.
Tasty trip though.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Cheers.